Welcome to Creating Disney Magic with Lee Cockerell. Lessons in leadership, management, and customer service. You can create magic too. I'm your host, Jody Mayberry, and I'm still in Orlando, still in Lee Cockerell's office. Lee, I'm kind of hard to shake loose once I get down here.
Well, that happens to a lot of people. Come to Orlando and they never leave. So it depends where they're from, but you're from a nice place, so I'm sure you'll move on eventually.
When I'm down here, it's kind of interesting. So many people say, "Why you're down here so much? Why don't you just move down here?" And Lee's been telling me that for 10 years. You should just live here.
I would move a lot of places too, but my wife doesn't want to move. Maybe that's your problem also. I don't know. I just say, okay, we'll stay. We'll just go visit.
When I first got here, Lee, we had a couple of events, talked about that last episode. And then Bob Weiss and I went to Epic Universe together, which I know is a Universal property, and we talk mostly Disney on here, but it was fascinating to tour Epic Universe with the president of Walt Disney Imagineering. He sees things I would never see. He asks questions I would never ask. And it just has me thinking about what a difference it makes when you get around experts, because I'm not an expert in theme park design. Bob Weiss is, and he saw it in a way I couldn't even imagine.
Well, obviously, we always tell people part of your development is becoming an expert in something. It could be marketing, sales, operations. It could be HR. It could be anything. Because when you're an expert, it's true. Your eyes see things differently than everybody else. You notice the small things, the small touches, the things that make a difference. Sometimes you don't even realize that thing helped you have a better experience at the park or at any establishment. Doesn't really matter what it is. And so I just keep pushing. Make sure when you can become an expert, and it's not that hard. If you spend 15, 20, 30 minutes a day, just something you're really passionate about, and you want to be the best, and you want to be the go-to person in your business, and want everybody to know he's the one you go, or she's the one you go see if you want more help on this situation. It could be like we're talking about now. You could become an expert in AI, and then you could be teaching everybody in your organization. You could become an expert in customer service or in leadership or in management, or just pick something that you love and then try to put in 15, 20, 25 minutes a day, going to websites, looking at it, reading about it, and getting jobs where you can experience it. And that will pay off. And it's always a good backup, too, in case the economy goes south. Experts very seldom get laid off and put out of organizations. People look down at your resume and say, "Oh, we need him." Just find a way to keep him here and let the other person go. So people want you for what you know. The people want you for what you can do for them. So make sure you're an expert. And what's that mean? It means you're better than everybody else in that subject. So that's really a good way to think. It'll really serve you well in the future. And a lot of times when you're young, you don't see that because it may not even matter what you decide to become an expert in. But pick something, and it's a big world out there, a lot of jobs, and there's somebody looking for an expert in whatever you become one in. So take it seriously.
Now, we've talked about experts. We just had a Creating Magic Mastermind, the only one of 2025 that we've done. And I say this every time, but I truly mean it. This was our best one so far. It was fabulous. And it was a room full of experts. We normally do 12. We had 15 this time. A room full of experts, and then anybody that's there brings forward their problem, their challenge, and the room just goes at it. And people came there confused on what to do with something, and they're leaving having talked to experts they wouldn't be around. For example, someone that owns a dance studio getting advice from a doctor, from a major league pitcher, from someone in IT. That just doesn't normally happen, Lee.
No, and I think that's a good theory for you, a good practice for you to think about in your whole life. When you have a problem and you're not sure how to solve it, don't ignore it. Get a group of people. It could be all your employees in a room together. It could be other people you know, and ask them to come and spend a day with you. You want to talk about this subject. And I can tell you, I did that at Disney, and it is so productive because everybody knows more than you do about something. and they pop up the right question. And that answer may come from their church. It may come from their job. It may come from another experience they've had, or their college degree, or a seminar they took. You don't know. But the ideas come out, and then they get better and refined, and we keep talking about them. They get better and better and better, and then the person that had the problem walks out of the room with solutions. And don't try to do everything yourself. Asking for help is a real plus. And don't be afraid to do that, because you can solve problems quickly instead of ignoring them and letting them become a big problem because you didn't fix them. And later on, they create more problems for you that you should have fixed a year ago. So when you got a problem, either solve it, get a group to solve it, or get experts to come in and help you think about it. Or come to a Cockerell Academy if we ever have another one, and or listen to our podcast, Creating Disney Magic, every Tuesday, or you can read my book, Creating Magic, from A Life at Disney, or Time Management. We have so many resources, and I think a lot of those resources are because, for me, in the way that I chose the right companies to work for, I chose companies where I could learn the best way. I didn't know that at the time. It was just accidental that I worked for Hilton, Marriott, and Disney maybe, but in fact, it happened. And I absorbed all of the ways you do things, and I had mentors, and I had people that sat me down and straightened me out occasionally when I wasn't doing it the right way. So I would say if you can get with a good organization that believes in training and education, it'll be a big plus to you as you go forward and think about all the things you learned in each job that makes you who you are today.
Lee said if we do another one, I should address that. We announced this was the 10th and final Creating Magic Mastermind. And as of now, we got asked a lot, is it really the last one? And as of now, yes, that's the plan. That was the last one. Something will come up. We'll do more events. We don't plan on doing another Creating Magic Mastermind right now. Who knows, but right now.
Well, and I think with Jody telling you that, he'll give you his email address. And if you are interested in having one of these and attending, we're going to create a list of potential attendees, because we're not interested in scheduling it and hoping people sign up and being at risk for the hotel rooms and all the costs that are associated with doing one of these. So if we can get a good list of knowing who wants to do it, and then we can put out some dates that try to get 15 people on board that we know are going to come, and then we'll have it again. So we're looking for a no risk. I don't really like spending my money for something I wanted somebody else to come. So it's just another way to think about getting a good list of interested people that want to do it. The only thing will hold them back is us having the right date available so they can.
Well, Lee, with the idea that this could have been our last one, because as of now, it is, if somebody says, oh my goodness, I really wanted to go, I never made it. The purpose for me on this episode was to say, look, it was our last one, but you can take this concept and make it work for you in your organization to get different people. Like Lee told a great story on this podcast in the past and at the Mastermind of getting chefs in a room to solve one problem that was particular to chefs. And in that case, yes, it needed to be the chefs solving that. But we learned at this Mastermind that there was a dentist there, for example. Okay, so she could have gathered other dentists and worked on the problem, but I think she really benefited from having people way outside of the industry. So Lee, how can someone replicate that in their business? Is it simply just grabbing someone from every department? Should they get someone from outside the business? How do you do this?
I don't think it matters where you get them. Just get a good variety of people. Maybe you need 6, maybe you need 10 or 12. I would say to try to have people from different businesses, different industries, because they'll have different points of view and different solutions. I would say get a young person in there. They'll give you a lot of good feedback on other things they know that we don't know, and they know how to do it, and we maybe don't know how to do it yet when it comes to technology and social media and those kinds of things. But having a variety of people with variety of backgrounds and a variety of experiences, you'll get a lot more solutions, and you'll get them pretty quick.
Yeah, and I think that's what matters. It was the diversity of experience, of thought, of background in this room that really worked for people. And sometimes it's so delightful to see the one we did 2024 we had a stand-up comedian there. And you would have thought, okay, well, how's this going to go? Someone that doesn't know, but stand-up comedy is a business. And he was there to work on the business of comedy because he has already become funny, been on the Tonight Show 5 times, and now he was successful enough, he was working on the business. And then the way he spoke into other people's businesses in ways they wouldn't have thought. We saw the same thing this time having a Major League Baseball player with us, because he's at a point where he was thinking, okay, what happens after baseball? Once I've thrown my last professional pitch, then what happens? So he was there to work on what happens next. But then his experience of being a pitcher, overcoming surgeries, just making it to the big leagues, is the chances are slim. So that experience, maybe on the surface, you wouldn't think, well, is that going to apply to the doctor in the room and the dentist in the room and the CEO in the room? And turns out, yes, it does. You get different experience, and it really matters because he saw what other people were doing in a way they never would have thought of on their own.
And it's true. Getting everybody in the room that agrees with you is the worst way to go. That everybody, especially, they only report to you and they don't want to speak up and tell the truth. So having a diverse group of people from different backgrounds where they are willing to 100% psychologically feel safe and just speak up and tell it how it is, that's where you get the solutions. You get them very quickly, actually, because they have no downside. They're not afraid. They're not afraid to speak up. They want to give their opinion, and they have opinion from a different background than you do.
I went to dinner with a group after the event who had been there, and I haven't even told Lee this yet. There was a moment kind of early in the event where someone was talking about their issue, and Lee just said to them, I think you're the problem. And so I asked someone who they hadn't gone and had their hot seat yet. And I said, when Lee told this other person, I think you're the problem, having not gone yet, how did you feel about that? What did you think? And he said, well, that's why I came here, to hear things like that. If I'm the problem, I need Lee to tell me I'm the problem.
Absolutely. All of us need that because we're all defensive. We all want to be right. And there was no downside. I don't have anything to do with her. And we just told her the truth. And she actually, I got a note from her this morning, by the way, thanking me and telling me she didn't participate so much the last day because she didn't feel well. But she said, let me know if you're going to do any more of these so I can be involved. So it was good.
Yeah.
The truth is not always fun, but it always is helpful to get you where you need to go. Telling you something that's not true or making you feel good, it doesn't create any opportunity for you going down the path.
And I tell people before this event, Lee is more candid during the Mastermind than any other time because that's what you've paid to be there to hear and experience is the candor. Most of the things that are talked about in that event never are talked about again.
Yeah. Like I tell my doctor, just tell me the truth. Don't tell me it's okay when it's not, because I want to get better. Yeah.
Well, all right. So we talked about how you can create your own mastermind, use this concept in your business to narrow in on your problems. Now, I will say, if you're doing it with people from your organization, the one thing to be careful of is if you're in charge, are people really going to tell you the truth? Or are they going to tell you what they want to hear? Do they feel like if I speak up and tell Lee he's the problem, am I going to suffer some consequences of that? So you probably have to already have a right environment in place to do this with people from within the organization.
Good deal.
All right, Lee, one more thing. Now that we got that out of the way, I thought it was really cool that we had the youngest person who's ever been at one of these, 23 years old. It was so great having her there, great perspective. But when someone pointed out to her that you are in the room with one of the premier leaders of this generation talking about you, you're pretty humble, Lee. How did that feel to have someone call you one of the premier leaders of the last few decades?
Well, I wouldn't say I didn't like it. It's great, and you're glad that people feel that way. And she was moved. I know it affected her. That so many people were willing to let her be in the room and to help her and to guide her. And they were very inspirational about her. That person who told me he thought I was a good leader, it was the same person who told her that she was gifted and she was going to be great. And she started crying, and hey, it reached her heart. And I guarantee you she'll think about that every day. She's going to be the best teacher that ever happened. She'll never forget that. You don't forget those things, the experience of those emotional moments when you're struck by being appreciated. So it was great. She's great. She's the manager of my coffee shop. I go there every morning. I see her every day, and I just spotted her over the times I go there. She's just on top of things and got a good attitude. She's only 23 years old. She's managing all these people and the customers and the owners, and she is gifted. And all she needs to do now is get some development and learn some technique, and she'll be great. And we'll probably hear more about her down the road. And anybody, she wants to be a teacher, and the students are going to win. They're going to be lucky they have her because she gets it.
What I really liked about that is I know in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, the person who told her that you're gifted, he'll probably forget by then. But she will never forget that he said that. And in my career, I had this when I became a park ranger at this ceremony where not the graduation from the law enforcement, but then you get commissioned later. And they pin your law enforcement badge on your chest, and the director does that. And he was there. I was the speaker for my class at Law Enforcement Academy graduation. And he was there and he saw it. And when he's pinning the badge on my chest, and no one else can hear what he says to you, he says something to everybody. For all I know, he said this to everybody, but I do know what he said to me. He's pinning the badge on my chest, and he said, "You're going to be director someday." And for the rest of my ranger career, I acted like I was going to be director someday.
You lived up to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Only because he said that to me.
Well, encouragement is really important because we all don't think we're as good as we want to be or should be. And when somebody tells us, it moves up our thinking level. Like, oh, maybe I can do this. So it's good. And we all need to be doing more encouragement and recognition, helping people feel better about themselves because it's a tough world right now. People need it. People need to be encouraged and complimented. And we can all do it every day, and every day we miss opportunities to do it. And if you do it, you're making a difference that you may never even know how big a difference it was. But your actions every day affect somebody, for better or worse.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you, this event, as wonderful as the Creating Magic Mastermind was, it wore me out. When you get wore out from working so hard, sometimes you need a vacation. And if you need a vacation, call our friends at Magical Vacation Planner. You can reach them at 407-442-2694. They can help you set up a cruise, a trip to Italy. Someone who was at the Mastermind used Magical Vacation Planner for their trip to Italy, said they were fantastic. They took care of everything. They had no worries. So reach out to them. And then also, if you want to get started on getting a mastermind of sorts going in your organization, and you want to do it all on your own, we've got material that I think helps. If you, let's say you have someone go through, or you have your whole team go through the Real Leadership course, well, then you can gather together and talk about it. Maybe that's the type of mastermind you do. If you're interested in that, go to cockerellstore.com. You can find all of our products there. Until next week, go out and create magic for others.